I called last week, by the way, and I was the one that brought up, did some connecting of the dots when it came to like telecom and the drones, right?
Yep.
Yep.
They got some more dots I wanted to connect, and this one will be a little bit easier to connect. And I think this one's a little bit more shocking too, and it's actually not anything creepy. It's actually something I'm shocked I really didn't see connected in the news. So you guys remember last year there was in the news there was a rogue wave that hit Marshall Islands, and it's kind of like this shocking video of like the doors of this cafeteria blowing in, and then a monstrous wave sweeping everyone in, knocking them down, knocking the tables over,
Of
and then like
course.
5 feet of water flooding in. If you Google huge rogue waves smash into remote U.S. military base in the Pacific, it should come up with a CNN article, and there's a video that's attached to it.
Yep. Marshall Islands, huge rogue waves smash into remote. Yep.
Okay. So if you go to the top and look at the date of this, right? It's January 25th, 2024. So one of the things that I like to do, because I like to kind of follow everything that's kind of going on in like world history wise with everything kind of military, because I think it's important to connect all the dots. And then if you connect all the dots, you can accurately kind of predict what's going to happen, have a good idea what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I follow multiple pages that track NOTAMs, notice to airman, right?
Okay.
And those are essentially just notices that they send out to like the U.S. military. It's not even just the U.S. military. I think it's really anyone, right? Saying you cannot fly in this specific location, right? So this was I have never seen connected to this, but if you actually Google Kwajalein, Kwajalein atoll, it and then type in NOTAM after that. It should take you at the very top of the page. You should see actually a Reddit article where they post it. It says extreme radiation NOTAM and Kwajalein. Let me know if you see that.
I'm not seeing that.
You might even just Google extreme radiation NOTAM and Kwajalein, and it should bring it up.
Okay. Well, while we look for that, let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah, while you look that up. So I remember seeing that actually because I saw it like whenever it got posted, and it looks like it got posted on December 28th, and I probably saw it like on the 3rd of January, and I was like, that's interesting because I actually know where Kwajalein is. And Kwajalein is right by the Marshall Islands, which is the home to like Bikini Atoll, right? And Bikini Atoll is where we used to do all the nuclear testing.
That's where SpongeBob lives.
Yeah. So I guess the dots to connect here would be that what are the odds that we issued a NOTAM saying, hey, you could not fly in this location from December 28th to January 31st due to an extreme hazard for nuclear. Actually, I'm just going to read off the exact verbiage. It says, attention to all aircraft operating in the vicinity of Kwajalein for your safety overflight of the islands north of RWY is prohibited. This is considered hazardous area with potential for loss of life. All arrivals and departures makes south traffic to avoid extreme radiation hazards. What are the odds that the origin, if you read that CNN article, it says the origin of the freak wave that knocked all those people down was from Kwajalein in a time that the United States said don't fly here because there might be nuclear danger going on, and we don't do nuclear testing anymore. It really made me think twice that maybe it's possible they're still doing nuclear testing and those people were hit by a rogue wave that was actually contaminated in some way, shape, or form.
I like the dots you're connecting here. That's interesting for sure. I'm seeing all this stuff.
The cadet's reasoning is sound.
Yes, exactly. We also have those reports. Who knows if they're true or not? Because sometimes I think a lot of it is just like psychological warfare or countries boasting like we can do this and that. But remember Russia saying they had that tsunami bomb?
Great band.
I mean, that's interesting too. I guess I didn't think of the whole tsunami bomb thing. You would think that if they were doing, ocean testing, it would probably just create some type of tsunami kind of in general here.
Right. But that's interesting. I very much remember this video. Obviously, I did not see the stuff about the radiation, but I'm looking at that now. And Bikini Atoll, isn't that where we as in the government we just destroyed all those people, right? And weren't there those fishermen who we allegedly didn't know about? I think the name of the ship might have been Lucky Dragon. I don't know why I'm remembering that right now, but they were kind of like just off of from where one of the testing sites were, and they got like doused with radiation or something. And I don't remember how many died, but I remember from what I've read that they got really sick. Maybe they all died. I don't remember that story so well, but we did a lot of
I
damage.
think outside of Nevada, that the majority of nuclear testing was done in Marshall Islands back in the day.
Yeah.
And something kind of going on with the quadrillion thing now. Maybe they moved testing over there. I'm not really sure, but I figured I'd point this out because I thought it was kind of interesting.
Very.
And then maybe wanted to wrap up the call with something just way off subject from this, and it was something you brought up earlier in the show, and I guess it was cryptids. So one of the things, for a long time, I've really not wanted to believe in cryptids. I actually think that the concept of it is so almost annoying because a lot of times it's connected back to UFOs. But the problem with all of this is, in some way, shape, or form, I actually think that it is connected, and that's why people say that they see cryptids and they also see other weird, strange stuff as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess when I've thought about this over time, you can imagine, like, if we lived in a world that was a multiverse, essentially, right? We were kind of living in slices of the multiverse. And the idea was that you were seeing something paranormal or a cryptid, right? The idea would be it would be bleeding over from another section of that multiverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess a piece of maybe supportive evidence that might be the case is that if you look up zoos, for some reason, there's a number of zoos that have had weird reports of people seeing cryptids at the zoo. And if you think about it, right, if there was another cross section of reality and there was different animals that did not exist within our timeline, they might exist in the timeline of another cross section, right? And they might be at the zoo, right? I mean, if you were expecting to see stuff, you would see it at the zoo. You would think, right? If you were trying to show the weirdest creatures, think of all the crazy stuff we have at the zoo. I mean, imagine if a giraffe didn't exist in another timeline. Someone tried to explain this long-necked thing at the zoo, right?
A platypus.
If you Google this, there's like all kinds of weird ones. There's like the wolf man. There's all kinds of weird cryptids people have reported seeing at or outside of zoos, which I just think is interesting.
This is a genre of cryptid sightings I had no idea about, but there is a long list of these. Oklahoma City, the zoo posted footage of a Bigfoot figure. Amarillo Zoo in 2022, a strange image was captured by security cameras, leading to speculation on the internet, with some suggesting it was a chupacabra or a person in a strange hat. San Antonio Zoo, a mysterious figure in its park, sparking debate and asking the public to identify it. Yeah, it goes on and on. That is very interesting.
Chupacabra.
Thank
Hatman.
you. Hatman Chupacabra. Yeah, interesting.
So I guess last thing, then I'll let you guys get on the next caller. There's a case here. So I'm actually in Colorado, and there's a guy named Christian Glass, and he actually died in an officer-involved shooting back in I think it was 2022. Are you guys familiar with this case? He pulled off on the side of the road and ended up calling 911.
Mm-mm. Tell us about it.
So once again, if you look this up, and then I challenge you guys to watch the video too, because what I'm going to explain, if you kind of think of this while you watch this, it makes it more strange. So what you would Google to find this, by the way, is this 22-year-old who police said committed no crime was shot and killed by police responding for his call to help. And I remember watching this video whenever it came out, and essentially this guy, he's driving through the mountains and he pulls off I believe it was Silver Plume, and he calls 911, and he says that a skinwalker was following him and looking into his vehicle. And I believe he even said it was running next to his vehicle, which is kind of like a strange thing to say when you're calling 911, right? And it's even more interesting when you factor that other people have reported the same thing, that this weird creature is running next to them, right?
Yep.
But there's some very particular verbiage that he uses when he calls in there. And let me see if I can't find it in the article, so I can't just quote it exactly. Yeah, this article is too long for me to find it. Essentially, he says something along the lines of, "This is my name. There's a skinwalker following me, and I'm going." He says, "I'm going to be killed," and he says to send help, and he will wait there. And they send the cops out to this guy's car, right? And he's saying that he's stuck, and it's not super visible that he's stuck. He's kind of on this like creepy back road, and they don't handle it in a way that you might think that they would handle it. You know, if I called and I said I was stuck, you'd think the cops would just show up and like, "Hey man, you're stuck. Let's pull you out." Or I mean, you would approach it in a way that you weren't approaching a criminal, right?
Right.
But they approach it in a way that is actually quite an aggressive stance to this young man who's stuck and having like essentially just like kind of freaking out at this point, right? And for some reason, they order him to get out of his car. He does not get out of the car, and essentially they escalate it to the point that this guy actually the cop literally goes crazy and shoots this guy. He gets up on his hood and he shoots him. And why am I saying this? And I'm saying this because I think it's an interesting set of events that unfolded, because the guy stopped and he actually said something that manifested later on. And it was the pretext to the event was with a skinwalker, right? And the more that I've looked into all this weird stuff that happens, right, you actually start seeing more and more of these cases where people are reporting seeing something, they call for help, and then something literally manifests afterwards, and it's what they said at the beginning. In this case, I think that that kid somehow knew that he was going to die, because he literally told the 911 operator that he said he was going to die, but he didn't provoke the death. He got shot.
Man, that's eerie.
It is very eerie, and when you watch the video, it's even more. It is very strange. You can almost feel that the cop was driven to do that, and what's even more weird is that this is 2022, right? So this is concluded in court. The cop who shot him got charged with murder. I'm pretty sure they said he had no clue why he did that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a great answer in his defense.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know why I just shot him.
Well, even if you watch the video, you don't understand why he's doing it. It's just a very haunting video. The street that this guy dies on too, right? This street is the same exact street of a number of people who've gone missing too. There's two people on this exact street on a house right by where this guy died at, who went missing from the same house and didn't know each other in the 1980s. One guy lived there and then he owned some type of business there. He went missing. The following person who moved into the house also went missing. And the guy who went missing, the second guy, right, was writing a book, and the main character of that book was the guy who lived there prior.
What?
It is so weird. Like, what are the odds of that too? It's just like another just really weird set of events on the same street. This guy gets shot, like, I mean, basically in front of that house.
Yeah, dude, that's bizarre. Stuff like that is always very bizarre to me. Well, appreciate these stories and appreciate you connecting all these dots. Connect more dots and give us a call back. All right, man?
Yeah, man. Well, you guys keep up the good work. Appreciate it, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donovan. Have a good one, man.